हम आपको नारी शक्ति अवार्ड से भी सम्मानित किया गया है। बहुत से लोग होते हैं जो नारियों को कमज़ोर समझते हैं।
किसी भी एंगल से हम लोग कमज़ोर है, तो ये सोच तो नहीं सोचना चाहिए।
Maths is a very problematic subject for most of the students. So what would you like to say to them?
Thought that we are like God Durga and having 10 hands will be managing everything.
When you met the President of India for the first time and you were awarded by him, so what was the experience?
Getting into this Rashtrapati Bhavan and that whole environment, somebody else is solving that problems and showing you how to do it, and then you just copy it or memorize it by some means. That is not going to help. Where he had raised this question in 1994 that this ring is a potential counterexample to the cancellation problem. Practice is the only key. Practically, it doesn't happen like that. Saying that we have to compete with men or that empowering women. So, what is empowering women? Women are empowered.
जिम और आप देख रहे हैं सच तक न्यूज़ कोलकाता से। इस वक्त मेरे साथ मौजूद है नीना गुप्ता। मैं बॉलीवुड एक्ट्रेस नीना गुप्ता की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ। मैं मैथमेटिशियन नीना गुप्ता से बात कर रही हूँ, जो कि कोलकाता के इंडियन स्टैटिस्टिकल इंस्टीट्यूट में एज अ रिसर्चर काम करती हैं और इन्हें राष्ट्रपति के द्वारा भी सम्मानित किया गया है। हम में से कई ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं जिन्हें मैथ्स को लेकर सबसे ज़्यादा परेशानी होती है। तो आज हम मैम से ये जानेंगे कि कैसे वो मैथ्स में इतना ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टेड हैं। नमस्ते मैम, स्वागत है आपका हमारे चैनल पर।
नमस्ते
मैम, आपको सबसे पहले तो कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन, आपने 70 साल पुराना जो प्रॉब्लम था उसे सॉल्व किया। उसके बारे में पहले कुछ बताइए।
ये प्रॉब्लम प्रोफेसर ज़रिस्की की है, बहुत साल पुरानी है। तो मैं जब पीएचडी स्टूडेंट थी तब से लगी हुई थी, तो काफ़ी दिनों बाद में मैं पोस्ट डॉक कर रही थी टीआईएफआर में, तब इसका मुझे थोड़ा सा हल मिला। और फिर मैंने दिस केम एज अ पार्ट ऑफ 3 papers and then the first part which appeared in inventionist. उसके बाद मैंने उसका बाकी का काम आईएसआई में आके एज ए पोस्ट डॉक किया था कंप्लीट, और फिर मैं यहीं पे फैकल्टी हूँ। तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के बाद मुझे काफ़ी अच्छा लगा, एंड इट ऑल्सो मीन्स इट कम्स विथ अ लॉट ऑफ हार्ड वर्क एज वेल एज आई शुड से इट्स भगवान की दया है जो कर पाते हैं। Otherwise, बहुत there are many such problems in life which we keep on thinking, and I don't know when are they going to get solved.
मैम, आपको नारी शक्ति अवार्ड से भी सम्मानित किया गया है। बहुत से लोग होते हैं जो नारियों को कमज़ोर समझते हैं और ख़ास तौर पे मैथ्स, साइंस, इन सभी सब्जेक्ट को मतलब ऐसा माना जाता है कि बहुत दिमाग चाहिए होता है पढ़ाई करने के लिए और लड़कियां इतनी कैपेबल नहीं होती है। आप खुद एक लड़की हैं, एक औरत हैं, और आपने ये प्रूव करके दिखाया है कि लड़कियां सभी चीज़ कर सकती हैं और आज की लड़कियां हर फील्ड में अपना बेहतर प्रदर्शन कर रही हैं। क्या कहना चाहेंगी इस पर?
ये तो मैं बस ये कह सकती हूँ कि ये मैंने नहीं, पहले भी कई महिलाओं ने इसे प्रूफ किया है कि दे कैन डू गुड साइंस, दे कैन डू गुड मैथमेटिक्स। भारत में ऐसे बहुत सारी महिला है जिसका हम लोग नाम ले तो जैसे हमारे मैथ्स के फील्ड में मैं जानती हूँ प्रोफेसर परिमला, प्रोफेसर सुजाता, उन्होंने मैथ्स में बहुत अच्छा नाम कमाया है। दे हैव डन रियली वंडरफुल वर्ल्ड क्लास मैथमेटिक्स, एंड वी आर फ्रॉम कोलकाता। सो कोलकाता में पहली भारतीय मैंने जो स्कूल मैंने डॉक्टर है, विशेषज्ञ है, सब हमारे कलकत्ता से ही आए हुए हैं। तो इट्स नॉट दैट वी आर बॉर्न अ बिट लेस और bit low at any point. I think it is just a thought which we have to just come out of it, and we can do better. I don't think there is any bias which God has in his mind to create us, but I think we can do anything, and of course whether it is science or sports or any field, I think we are capable, and I think this message is known to everybody. And after getting this Nari Shakti Puraskar, I was a bit amazed because there I saw many women who had done really wonderful work in their life, and it was really inspiring meeting them all, and I was a bit overwhelmed getting that. And so I think this recognition means a lot to me, especially if government has think that in the field of education somebody has proved excellent and we are honoring them, then it's actually on the behalf of all the women who I received this award, and I wish all of them a great success in their life, and never ever think that we are a bit less or किसी भी एंगल से हम लोग कमज़ोर है, तो ये सोच तो नहीं सोचना चाहिए।
मैम, कैन यू प्लीज़ एक्सप्लेन अ बिट अबाउट दैट प्रॉब्लम यू सॉल्व्ड?
It's
In
a real
between.
real difficult to explain it in layman's language. It's a higher mathematics grew very fast, and it's very difficult to explain. So I don't know how would I will be able to explain, but geometrically I could say something like this. Suppose you have an affine space. It's like any curve or a string, and you look at this space cross the affine cylinder over it. So suppose this is a curve, and then you look at the cylinder over it, and then you know that this cylinder is isomorphic to some known space like the affine plane. Then can you say to start with the straight string which you have taken that is a straight line or the curve, means that affine line A1. So that was the Zariski's problem, and this problem was known to have an affirmative solution for affine surfaces and in all the characteristic. And what I showed is that over a field of positive characteristics, so fields of positive characteristics, they are of very special kind, and very good had applications in many branches of technology, say inside computer or anything. So but that the fields of positive characteristic, what I have shown is that for affine varieties of dimension greater than or equal to 3, this cancellation property does not hold. So there was one example which was constructed by Asanuma in 1987, and there he had raised this question in 1994 that this ring is a potential counterexample to the cancellation problem, and it had remained open from there. So I proved that S-anomalous ring is not a polynomial ring, and thereby proving that this cancellation problem has negative solution in positive characteristic. And later I found examples in all the higher dimensions. So this is what I contribute. I know it's very bit difficult to explain in layman's language, but yeah.
So, ma'am, there are most of the students who hates math. Math is a very problematic subject for most of the students. So, what would you like to say to them?
Uh, I think it's just a thought. I never in my life I ever thought that mathematics is boring or it's difficult, or I always found it to be a bit challenging. Of course, yes, but challenges, of course, we like, right? We all love to play, and we know that any sports, any games is not easy. There is a chance of losing, so we give our full attention, we give our focus, and then we give also our heart to that sports, right? Then we win that match. So there is always a tendency to win the match, and mathematics I always take it as with that kind of spirit, that it is a challenge to me. And so there is no real opponent, the real opponent is the problem itself. So I just play with it, and I think students should also have that kind of attitude. And this is one of the most simple subject, and of course it's basic to all the subjects, and there's no prerequisite to it. So if you are strong in your foundations, you should be able to do any problems, and you just have to give your heart. It's not that anybody can do it.
Any special trick that you would love to share with the audience, with the students especially?
So I don't know whether there's a trick or not, but what I feel is that if you practice is the key. So it's not that you are unable to solve one problem and you show it to somebody and he does it on your behalf. That is not going to sharpen your brain. So mathematics is essential to sharpening your brain. So more you do, more the brain sharps. And it's not that it's an exercise for the brain. So it's not that if somebody else is doing that exercise, you will have the benefit of that. So like those physical exercise, it's your body, you have to do your own exercise. So it's not that somebody else is solving that problems and showing you how to do it, and then you just copy it or memorize it by some means. That is not going to help. So you have to learn the way, means you have to be with the problem, you have to understand it, and you have to solve it on your own. And at the same time you get it checked by an expert whether it is right or wrong the way you are thinking, but never ever try to memorize it. So it's a exercise, and practice is the only key. So you just keep on doing it, solve more and more problems, you will be learning it. So that's the way you go about it.
Okay. As you are a researcher, so would you like to share the project you are working on recently?
I'm currently working on the problems on affine spaces, and there are some challenging problems over there. So I have been just working with it, like this cancellation problem, which I stated that has been solved only in characteristic positive. So this characteristic 0 I need to handle, and in fact not me, in fact there are many people on the world who is after it. So there are challenging problems in the area, and we are just working and towards it. So
When you met the president of India for the first time and you were awarded by him, so what was the experience?
oh, it was a lifetime achievement. I would say that for the first time in my life, I really felt like a special person, or means it's like that. It was an achievement. Getting into the this Rashtrapati Bhavan and that whole environment. It was so means it was just still I can memorize each and every second of that moment when I was awarded, and we were so tensed, so worried. We were feeling like a school kid when we were about to given that award, and some principal is coming. So it was a real achievement, and it was a lifetime moment, I would say, other than miss the fact that it was given by the president himself. And we also met prime minister the day before that. So the fact that we had been able to meet those great personalities, so that itself is an achievement for me. So I think I was really blessed that I could make it up, and thankfully means, it was a real achievement.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
yeah.
So, ma'am, you are a married woman. So, how do you manage both the things, house and work?
So that is a bit challenging on my side. I would say that I have been really struggling managing both, and it's impossible to manage both. But with support from the family and our colleagues, it becomes easy. So currently, my husband is taking some leave, so he is taking care of my child. But at times when he is working, means he is outside, then I have to take care of her. So I have to bring her here and make her sit and do some work. Then I also can do my work. So this is how it goes about that. We take equal parts of sharing these responsibilities, and if I say that if I were to have to do everything on my own and also do research, then I think it's not possible. So be realistic that it's impossible to handle both everything in their life alone. So we need support, and maybe it is told or it is thought that we are like God Durga and having 10 hands will be managing everything perfectly with all our this, and but practically it doesn't happen like that. We have to be given some support. Yes. So with that support, I am being able to manage.
What is your message to the women out there?
Uh, I The message is that, you see, I have been seeing many women coming out of home and doing some work, either teaching or some craft work at home. So I just say that we should be keep our part in the development of the society. It's not that mm, the country will develop or the society will develop on its own without our contribution. So we have to keep on contributing to the society, to the state and the government for the development of our country. So it's not that this country will prosper just with males, and I'm not saying that we have to compete with men. Actually, we have to fill the part, our responsibility we had on our shoulders. Not that their alone responsibility is alone on their shoulders. It is our part, and we have to take up that responsibility. So yes, so this is what the message is, that and never feel that we are probably less powered, or so sometimes we heard this word, that empowering women. So what is empowering women? Women are empowered. They just have to know that they're empowered, and they have to come out and then see, work for it. So it's not that means power will not come to you if somebody. Power is not something which you can donate to anybody or you can give it to anybody. Power is from within. It will come from your side. So you just work for it. We have our in our institute. We have our director who is a lady professor, and earlier there was a dean also who was a lady professor. So people have to just work for it.
Exactly, and the society needs to accept it.
Yeah, but then you have to do your work, right? Means empowering will not come that you cannot gift empower to somebody. Okay, you take this money and you become empowered. It's not like that. Or you give your, okay, you fix this subsidy or shift this quota for women. This is not empowering. This is just making them realize that you are weak. So empowering will come on their own.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम। तो ये थी नीना गुप्ता, जो कि एक मैथमेटिशियन है, रिसर्चर हैं और कोलकाता के इंडियन स्टैटिस्टिकल इंस्टीट्यूट में अपना काम करिए। आज के लिए बस इतना ही। वीडियो को लास्ट तक देखने के लिए शुक्रिया। अगर आप हमें कुछ बताना चाहते हैं, कोई सजेशन देना चाहते हैं, तो नीचे कमेंट बॉक्स में लिखकर बता दें। जय हिंद।